Hello students, welcome to EduFarm. Believe and Become classes for GPAT and NIPER JEE. If you like, do share our videos, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to never miss any update. Hello students, welcome to another lecture by EduFarm. Here we have a compilation of all the test yourself questions only for your convenience. 100 questions from test yourself 1 to 10 only for INR 100. 100 questions for 100 rupees. All in a PDF copy. For this, you just need to contact us through mail. The mail address is edufarm1994@gmail.com. Contact now to get this offer. Also, we are coming up with the question set for NIPER JEE. Stay tuned for that. Also, you can donate any amount to help us make these videos for you. The number is given in the description below. Today's lecture is a continuation of the carbohydrate series. This lecture contains glycogenesis, glycogenolysis, gluconeogenesis and HMP shunt and some metabolism related disorders. Now let's begin with today's lecture. Glycogenesis. The synthesis of glycogen from glucose is glycogenesis. Glycogenesis takes place in the cytosol and requires ATP and UTP besides glucose. Now synthesis of UDP glucose. Glucose is converted to glucose 6-phosphate with the help of hexokinase in muscles and glucokinase in liver. Further, phosphoglucomutase catalyzes the conversion of glucose 6-phosphate to glucose 1-phosphate. Uridine diphosphate glucose UDPG is synthesized from glucose 1-phosphate and UTP by UDP glucose pyrophosphorylase. Now the next step is the requirement of primer to initiate glycogenesis. Small fragment of pre-existing glycogen acts as a primer to initiate glycogen synthesis. Glycogenin, a protein, also can accept glucose from the UDPG. In the hydroxyl group of the amino acid tyrosine, the initial glucose unit is attached. The enzyme glycogen initiator synthase transfers the first molecule of glucose to glycogenin. Then glycogenin itself takes up a few glucose in the residue to form a fragment of primer which serves as an acceptor for the rest of the glucose molecules. Now glycogen synthesis by glycogen synthase. Glycogen synthase is responsible for the formation of 1,4-glycosidic linkages. This enzyme transfers the glucose from UDP glucose to the non-reducing end of glycogen to form alpha-1,4 linkages. Formation of branches in glycogen. Linear unbranched molecule with 1,4-glycosidic linkages is synthesized by glycogen synthase. Branches are made by enzyme glucosyl alpha-4,6 transferase, alpha-1,4 and 1,6 trans glucosidase. This enzyme transfers a small fragment of 5 to 8 glucose residues from the non-reducing end of glycogen chain by breaking alpha-1,4 linkages to another glucose residue where it is linked by alpha-1,6 bond. This leads to the formation of a new non-reducing end besides the existing one. Glycogen is elongated and branched respectively by the enzymes glycogen synthase and glucosyl 4,6 transferase. Now let's begin with glycogenolysis. The degradation of stored glycogen in liver and muscle constitutes glycogenolysis. Pathways for synthesis and degradation of glycogen are not reversible. Now the first step is action of glycogen phosphorylase. The alpha-1,4 glycosidic bonds are cleaved by the enzyme glycogen phosphorylase to yield glucose 1-phosphate. This process is known as phosphorylasis. The glycogen formed is known as limit dextrin. Now the second step is action of debranching enzyme. Now the branches of glycogen are cleaved off. Glucosyl 4:4 transferase activity removes a fragment of 3 or 4 glucose residues attached at a branch and transfers them to another chain. One alpha-1,4 bond is cleaved and another alpha-1,4 bond is made on another chain. Amylo 1,6 glucosidase breaks the alpha-1,6 bond at the branch with a single glucose residue and releases a free glucose. Remain molecule of the glycogen can again repeat the reactions mentioned in step 1 and 2. Formation of glucose 6-phosphate and glucose. Now glucose 1-phosphate is converted to glucose 6-phosphate by enzyme phosphoglucomutase. In liver, kidney and intestine, glucose 6-phosphate cleaves glucose 6-phosphate to glucose. But in muscle and brain this enzyme is absent. In peripheral tissues, glucose 6-phosphate is used for glycolysis. Now gluconeogenesis. First of all, in the mitochondria, synthesis of glucose from non-carbohydrate compounds is known as gluconeogenesis. Gluconeogenesis is mainly occurred in the cytosol and some precursors are produced in mitochondria. This takes place in the liver mostly. 1 kg of glucose is synthesized every day. Now the conversion of pyruvate to phosphoenol pyruvate. Now this takes place in 2 steps. Pyruvate carboxylase is a biotin dependent mitochondrial enzyme that converts pyruvate to oxaloacetate in the presence of ATP and CO2. Acetyl CoA is required for this activity. Oxaloacetate is synthesized in the mitochondrial matrix due to the membrane impermeability. Oxaloacetate cannot diffuse out of the mitochondria, so it is converted to malate and then transferred to the cytosol. The reversible conversion of oxaloacetate and malate is catalyzed by malate dehydrogenase, an enzyme absent in both the parts. In cytosol, the phosphoenol pyruvate carboxykinase converts oxaloacetate to phosphoenol pyruvate. GTP is used in the reaction and CO2 is released. Now the conversion of fructose 1,6-bisphosphate to fructose 6-phosphate. Now in this, fructose 1,6-bisphosphate converts to fructose 1,6-bisphosphate by the enzyme fructose 1,6-bisphosphatase. The final product is fructose 6-phosphate. This requires magnesium ions. Enzyme is absent in smooth muscle and heart muscle. The conversion of glucose 6-phosphate to glucose occurs in the following way. Glucose 6-phosphatase converts glucose 6-phosphate to glucose. This enzyme determines whether the tissue is capable of contributing glucose to blood or not. It is present in liver, kidney, but is absent in muscle, brain and the adipose tissue. Now some importance of gluconeogenesis. Now the brain and CNS, erythrocytes, testes and kidney medulla are dependent on glucose for continuous supply of energy. Glucose is the only source that supplies energy to the skeletal muscles under anaerobic conditions. In fasting, even more than a day, gluconeogenesis must occur to meet the basal requirements for the body for glucose. Certain metabolites produced in tissue are accumulated in the blood, example lactate, glycerol, propionate, etc. Gluconeogenesis clears them from blood. Now alcohol inhibits gluconeogenesis. Now how alcohol can inhibit gluconeogenesis? Ethanol oxidation in liver to acetaldehyde by the enzyme alcohol dehydrogenase utilizes NAD+. The excess NADH produced in the liver interferes with gluconeogenesis. Pyruvate and oxaloacetate, the predominant substrates for gluconeogenesis, are made unavailable by alcohol intoxication. This happens due to overconsumption of NAD+ and excessive production of NADH by alcohol. Alcohol consumption increases the risk of hypoglycemia due to the reduced gluconeogenesis. This is particularly important in diabetic patients who are on insulin treatment. So, alcohol consumption can increase the risk of hypoglycemia. Now let's come to the HMP shunt pathway. It is an alternative pathway to glycolysis and TCA cycle for the oxidation of glucose. It is anaerobic in nature. The enzymes are located in cytosol and this occurs in liver, adipose tissue, adrenal gland, erythrocytes, testes and lactating mammary glands. Now it is divided into two phases. One is oxidative phase. The glucose phosphate dehydrogenase is an NADP dependent enzyme that converts glucose 6-phosphate to 6-phosphogluconolactone. Then it is hydrolyzed by gluconolactone hydrolase to 6-phosphogluconate. Synthesis of NADPH is catalyzed by 6-phosphogluconate dehydrogenase to produce 3-keto 6-phosphogluconate, which then undergoes decarboxylation to give ribulose 5-phosphate. Now comes the non-oxidative phase. The non-oxidative reactions are concerned with the interconversion of 3, 4 and 5 and 7 number carbon monosaccharides. Ribulose 5-phosphate acted upon by an epimerase to produce xylulose 5-phosphate, while ribose 5-phosphate ketoisomerase converts ribulose 5-phosphate to ribose 5-phosphate. Now transketolase catalyzes the transfer of 2 carbon moiety from xylulose 5-phosphate to ribose 5-phosphate to give glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and pseudoheptulose 7-phosphate. Again, transaldolase catalyzes the formation of erythrose 4-phosphate and fructose 6-phosphate. Now the transketolase again acts on xylulose 5-phosphate and transfers a 2 carbon fragment from it to erythrose 4-phosphate to generate fructose 6-phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. And by reversal of glycolysis, fructose 6-phosphate is formed. Fructose 6-phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate can be further catabolized through glycolysis and citric acid cycle. Glucose may also be synthesized from these two compounds. Now HMP shunt is unique in generating two important products, that is pentoses and NADPH, needed for biosynthetic reactions and other functions. Now let's move on to diseases associated with carbohydrate metabolism. Now the first one is glycogen storage diseases. These are of 7 types. The names are von Gierk's disease, type 1 glycogenosis. The enzyme defect is glucose 6 phosphatase and organs involved are liver, kidney and intestine. The second one is Pompe's disease. The enzyme is lysosomal alpha 1,4 glucosidase, or also known as acid maltase. The organs involved are the maximum all organs of our body. Now Cody's disease affects the amylo alpha 1,6 glucosidase. It is the debranching enzyme of glycogen. Liver, muscle, heart and leukocytes are affected. Anderson's disease is caused by glucosyl 4,6 transferase, which is the branching enzyme, and it involves most of the tissues. McArdle's disease affects muscle glycogen phosphorylase. Skeletal muscles are involved. Hirsch's disease, the enzyme defect is liver glycogen phosphorylase. Organ involved is liver. And finally, Taroi's disease, phosphofructokinase is defected and the organs involved are skeletal muscle and erythrocytes. Now the next one is glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase deficiency. It is an inherited sex-linked trait and the red blood cells are most affected, leading to hemolysis. Another one is Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome. This is a genetic disorder associated with the HMP shunt, an alteration in transketolase activity that reduces its affinity by tenfold or so, with thiamine phosphates, the biochemical lesion. The symptoms of Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome include mental disorder, loss of memory, and partial paralysis. The symptoms are manifested in alcoholics whose diets are vitamin deficiency. Next, some of the more carbohydrate metabolism related disorders are galactosemia. Now, in galactosemia, the deficiency enzyme occurs in galactose 1-phosphate uridyl transferase. It is a rare congenital disease in infants and is inherited as an autosomal recessive disorder. The diagnosis is early detection of galactosemia is possible by biochemical diagnosis by measuring the activity of galactose 1-phosphate uridyl transferase on erythrocytes. The treatment, the therapy includes supply of diet deprived of galactose and lactose, and it has been implicated in the development of cataract. The second one is essential fructosuria, then hereditary fructose intolerance and consumption of high fructose. These are fructose related metabolism disorders. And rest are Hurler's syndrome, Hunter's syndrome, Sanfilippo syndrome and Sly syndrome. Now some miscellaneous points which are also important for exam point of view are Pasteur effect. What is Pasteur effect? The inhibition of glycolysis by oxygen, that is aerobic condition, is known as Pasteur effect. The Pasteur observed that when anaerobic yeast cultures, that is metabolizing yeast, were exposed to air, the utilization of glucose decreased by nearly 7-fold. This occurs due to the inhibition of enzyme phosphofructokinase. Now what is Crabtree effect? The phenomenon of inhibition of oxygen consumption by addition of glucose to tissues having high aerobic glycolysis is known as Crabtree effect. Basically, this is the opposite to that of Pasteur effect. Crabtree effect is due to increased competition of glycolysis for inorganic phosphate, that is Pi, and NAD+, which limits their availability for phosphorylation and oxidation. Now Rappaport-Lubring disease. This is a supplementary pathway to glycolysis which is operative in the erythrocytes of man and other mammals. This cycle is mainly concerned with the synthesis of 2,3-bisphosphoglycerate, that is 2,3-BPG, in the RBC. Now, why the 2,3-BPG is required? It helps in the production of and allows the glycolysis to proceed without the synthesis of ATP. It combines with hemoglobin and reduces hemoglobin affinity with oxygen. Therefore, in the presence of 2,3-BPG, oxyhemoglobin unloads more oxygen to the tissues. Increase in erythrocyte 2,3-BPG is observed in hypoxic condition or in case of if a human goes to the high altitude and in anemic conditions. In all these cases, 2,3-BPG will enhance the supply of oxygen to the tissues. Now next is a total of 12 ATP are produced from one acetyl CoA in citric acid cycle. Now some inhibitors of Krebs cycle. For enzyme aconitase, the inhibitor is fluoroacetate, which is non-competitive in nature. For alpha ketoglutarate dehydrogenase, the inhibitor is arsenite, which is also again non-competitive in nature. Then succinate dehydrogenase, the inhibitor is malonate, which is competitive in nature. So these points are important for exam point of view. And finally, 1 ATP has high energy bond equivalent to 30.5 kilojoules. That's all for today. Check more of our videos and let us know of any query in the comment section below. Also, you can suggest topics for our next video. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the next lecture. Till then, keep your preparations on with EduFarm.